Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has rallied only so far in 3 waves from yesterday's low. In the last video, I also shared with you the daily chart. Okay, so we don't want to do that in this video. First of all, have a great weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Probably not going we probably won't have too much action. But we'll see. Last Friday, obviously, last week, 7th, we also had, just checking when that was, here, we also had a bit of a flush, but then the price spent the entire weekend just moving sideways, moving up to the 50% retracement at the time. See, this was when we had this B-wave top, or, well, B-wave in both counts, actually. We saw the price move down quite strongly. And then, yeah, this just sideways consolidation. I gave you a resistance area at the time, and the price respected that perfectly. It was the 50% retracement. So that was the resistance area we had on the chart. The price got rejected. So these areas can lead to reversals, and we might have something similar again. Now, the rebound, you'll see that's quite interesting. The rebound from this Friday's low. So first of all, the decline was less strong, which indicates the downside pressure is reducing. In addition to that, the rebound is stronger. So we might see a bit of a recovery. I don't know. It could be, I've got a few ideas here. So it could be, for example, that we're dealing with a wave 4 weekend. So as mentioned in yesterday's video, if we say that, okay, we had, second, just checking something. Tidying that up. We had an A wave down into the Tuesday low, then a B wave rally, and this is a C wave down as an ending diagonal. Well, then it might be that this here was the low of the third wave. I have to say though, it is a bit too short for a third wave. So maybe something, I'm not super convinced about the micro count here, but we have, and that's always the problem with these diagonals. I mean, this is not an impulse, This is definitely not an impulse to the downside, and it looks somewhat unfinished to the downside. Especially if you consider taking the length of the A wave, and then we compare that with the length of the C wave, and that would take us to 64,295. No need to get there, but one more low is currently likely, until the price can form a solid 5-wave move up and a 3-wave pullback. So if it manages to form 5 waves up, then I can add the next micro support area for you. I mean, we are already in a larger support region, okay? We are already in a larger support region. So I would not necessarily look for short positions from here, but that all depends on your time frame and your risk management. But we have now arrived at a target area. The price reacted to it already, okay? What was potentially something for a short trade was yesterday's start of the decline, where it sent a signal out and said, we might just start that move down into that area here. But we haven't quite reached 64,910. I mean, it came very close, right? But missed it by $100. This is normally my minimum requirement for a third wave. So I'm not entirely sure if the third really bottomed. So that's the thing, that's what I'm not so sure about. But I've added the resistance area that is relevant for this 4th wave. So we might just see a wave 4 weekend, and the price might, so this is wave 4 of C, of Y, of B. Okay, if you don't, it might be a bit too much with all these labels, but basically the bottom line is, as long as we stay below initial resistance, and that's at 67,120 roughly, the downside pressure is high. But it might just be like one more low, right? At the same time, I have no evidence at all that a more substantial low has formed. So I don't see an amazing setup here, but it depends really on your time frame. There are so many ways to play this from a trading point of view. For example, we've got this support area here. It's between 62,540 and 67,205. Now you might want to trade for the C wave rally, right? And if you do that or did that, you were already successful because you added here a little bit, you added here a little bit, maybe you added here a little bit, and several reactions to the support region. You might have chosen to add again here a little bit. And so we might see a bit of a reaction there to the upside, and then you could capitalize on that. At the same time, I think it's worth stopping out. If you just trade this setup, below the 78.6 retracement, or at the latest below the wave 2 low, which is the 10th of May low, because it would invalidate this setup. Saying that AB setups are never great, right? Probably for a high probability setup, you want to wait for the wave 1 of C to come up as a 5-wave move. So quick explanation, to get a confirmation that the C wave has started, I want to see the first 5 waves up. One, that would be the wave 1 in 5 waves, and then the higher low in wave 2 could be a setup if the wave 1 is a clear 5-wave move. And then the third wave could be traded, you know, and so on. But yeah, this is essentially trading. What I do here is analysis. I can't really talk about hundreds of ways to trade this. That depends on your own risk profile and so on. I just want to share with you that we're now deep in a support area and that we are reacted to important Fibonacci levels. But that I'm not convinced yet that a low is in place. But I will tell you what I need to see to be more confident to say that the B wave has bottomed. Okay, I'm talking about this B wave here. What needs to happen? So we go to the 15-minute chart. First of all, what we notice is that the price broke above an initial trend line. Now, these trend lines, I've noticed when they break on weekends, they are not so reliable. They are not so relevant because the volume is just not there to support a breakout, which is why I said maybe we just see a wave 4 weekend, which means maybe that wave high stays in place and we could just deal with a triangle here on the weekend. Yeah, it's like what happened last weekend. Or even if the wave 4 extends a bit, as long as we stay below resistance, there is no sign of a low in place. So therefore, whatever the pattern does, as long as we stay below 67,115, there is no clear sign that a low is in place. If something forms that looks like a 5-wave move up, and it hasn't yet shown me that, then I'd be more confident that a low is in, especially if that initial 5-wave move up breaks above 67,115. And then we can watch for the next pullback. If it's corrective, I can add the next support area. I did that earlier today for Ethereum, already communicated that on Discord. Feel free to check out our membership if you're interested in like quick updates for gold members. But Bitcoin hasn't done that. Bitcoin has only shown us 3 waves up. Doesn't mean it couldn't have bottomed, it can, but then we cannot see it yet because we haven't got a break above resistance. All we have is a break above a trend line. I mean, again, if you're a trend line breakout trader, there is a small breakout, but on a weekend, volume is low, right? So it's it's not high confidence. So essentially the scenarios, or let's say the parameters, I should say, they haven't changed since yesterday. At the moment, the analysis allows definitely for one more low. It wouldn't be any surprise. Does it need that one more low? No, but I think it's likely. So I'm leaning towards one more low because we are in a downtrend and have been in a downtrend since the 7th of June. Even this rally here was not a confirmation that we've bottomed. I've been watching for it, but I said to you, we need to see the first 5-wave move up for a confirmation. Didn't show. So I always need to see the 5 waves. If only 3 waves show, it can easily break down. So even if we break above initial resistance, I need to see the right structure. Green candles alone don't confirm anything. It's always the structure. So one more low wouldn't be a surprise from here. If one more low forms, there is a Fibonacci confluence area around 64,300 to 64,500. And this is where several Fibonacci levels meet, and also where I put here, ideally the price holds here. So I'm watching that if we get another low. Until then, we'll just see what the price does today. There might be some meaningless fluctuations here between resistance and support, and yesterday's low, yesterday's high. If you break above yesterday's high, then it might take us deeper into resistance, but then we've got that next swing high, the B wave top, and the 67,115 level, pretty much at one level. So there should be some resistance there. I would not expect major moves today. I'm always happy to be impressed, but it's Saturday, so it might be a quiet one. That's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.